Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Titans Return Deluxe Class Wolfwire and Monzo. Now, Wolfwire should be called Weirdwolf, and Monzo, while it's spelled with an X here, typically speaking, the X makes a Z sound, so I'm still thinking that's pronounced Monzo like the original Headmaster was. But again, because of probably copyright reasons, they can't call him Weirdwolf, but we all know who he obviously is supposed to be. For the package though, you got a really nice clamshell here with the Transformers text on the side. You got that cool art on the back of it, which is also replicated on the collector card, which we'll take a look at here in a bit. And then you come around here to the back, you can see that all the various Titan Master figures all have the interchangeable head. So you can take Skytread and put them on Wolfwire if you want to, or you could take Monzo and you can put him on Mindwipe, Astral Train, or Soundwave. You can see that he transforms in 15 steps, and it says the Decepticons unite with Titan Master partners to power up for battle. Monzo gives Wolfwire the power to rewind time in short bursts, but it drains his energy to dangerously low levels. That's actually pretty cool. Kind of dig that. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it for it. So obviously, without further ado, let's get Wolfwire out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Wolfwire opened up and out of his packaging. And much like all of the Titans Return figures with the exception of the Titan Masters, Wolfwire does come with his collector card with the Titans Return logo right there. You got his name and then real cool art and to put on the front of it. On the back you see his tech specs with Monzo and how his abilities increase as you attach Monzo to his body. Specifically his intelligence, which seems weird, but whatever. I mean, I would have thought that his speed would increase. I mean, he's a wolf, so they're typically pretty fast, and I guess that's his next most powerful aspect, but I don't know, I just really wouldn't think that, you know, Wolfwire's intelligence would be a 10 and then adding Monzo would push up to a 15, but you know, whatever. But for the figure himself, as you can see, really very sleek and cool looking wolf mode. Honestly, of all the deluxes in this second wave, this is probably my favorite. I don't know why, I just think this turned out absolutely terrific. As you can see, you can plug his giant cannon onto his back section. There's little slots right here that these little prongs kind of fit into, so you just go like that, and there you have it. You also do have Monzo kind of sitting in here, taking a look at him. Fairly simple in terms of the overall look on this guy. I don't really know if his body has been reused by anybody else, but it's kind of disappointing that his face isn't painted at all, but it is molded in this white plastic. It looks pretty decent. Coming in to take a little bit of a closer look, you can see some nice molded detail on there as well. You got the little screw hole, and then you just transform them by flipping them down, and there you have them. And that really does look good. I mean, that does a absolute great job of homaging the Weirdwolf and Monzo himself. So I'm really very happy with how that actual head sculpt turned out. Now, like I was saying, he does come with this little cannon. Well, it's not really little, it's pretty massive. And honestly, I have no idea why he's got this big giant of a cannon. I'm going to set Monzo right there. Because the G1 gun is this little guy. So I have no idea why they decided to go super crazy giant gun with Wolfwire here, but they did. Somebody was also asking if you can peg his gun onto the bottom side. I don't know why you would want to, but he does have a peg hole here, which does make it look like it's designed for it. And yeah, you can peg that underneath if you really wanted to. Maybe you don't want to have the little cockpit here blocked or anything, but you can actually open this with their fingernail that I obviously don't have, so we're just gonna pull out this little thing, and there you go. And then you got a little cockpit on the inside here that you can take Monzo as well, and you can fold them up and you can put them right inside there. Now, one thing that's actually really cool is, look, hey, you can actually close that. You couldn't do that on the G1 toy. That's actually something that's a huge improvement. So I don't know if necessarily they, you know, did this with the little cockpit where he can actually sit in it, you know, as a way to, you know, kind of complete that overall look that, you know, the original one really couldn't have. And then maybe you take this and pull this out, close this, and then you can put this on the top and have him riding on it, or writing in it as if it looked like he was on the G1 toy. And by that I mean, here, bringing the G1 toy in. This is the G1 toy. Obviously I was going to do a comparison anyhow, so I might as well do it. Monzo could not fit very well in here. There's a lot of space in there, but you can't get him all the way down in it. I mean, you can fold him up and everything, then he becomes very difficult to actually get out. So you mostly just had him kind of resting in there with this little piece back, so it kind of looked like he was just riding on him. Maybe that's what they were going with here. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, but either way, there you have that. But overall, you can see fairly similar look. Getting this out of here, getting this Monzo. I'm gonna obviously you can see that his head is very similar. Let me pull this out to what the G1 kind of head looked like as well. So you got the nice red for the mouth and all that kind of stuff. So really cool there. But in terms of a comparison, there you have it. You got the same basic color with the yellow. This is a little bit brighter of a yellow color, and then you got the little, I don't even know what color, like aqua blue maybe, I guess, kind of on it. You got his little tail right here as well, which is really nice. But overall, I think they did a great job of homaging that original toy. You got the little kind of missile pods right here, which you could do that on here as well if you left these little bits up. I like rotating these down for his actual beast mode, so usually I use my one fingernail. I got like one fingernail. It's on that. It's my little pinky. That's it. But comparison wise, that's what you're looking at. Now, one thing that I absolutely love, getting this out of here, is that the head here, as you can see, you got some nice kind of red, pink, purple-ish color, clear-lucent plastic in there, but it's also kind of going throughout the entire body of the actual head, and you can kind of, in different light areas, you can kind of see that that red actually bleeds through very, very nicely. You get some light kind of coming through, and it just looks cool. Like, I mean, you can even see it like here in the nose. I mean, that is really awesome. A small detail like that I really like. But the overall detail on the entire figure, as you can see, does look really nice. One thing that I also do want to comment on is that people were wondering if the scratches on the actual claws here are supposed to be like that in terms of the paint deco. And you can see that the back had this kind of dry brush as well, and you can see some scratches on the actual silver paint. Same here with the front claws as well. It is supposed to be like that. Some people are questioning whether or not that is the case, and I can absolutely confirm that that is supposed to be like that through two different ways, actually. The first being the actual back package of the figure. If you come in to take a look at the beast mode here, you can see those nails are scratched up fairly nicely. And it does give an amazing amount of just, overall depth to that paint. The other confirmation came from Hasbro directly. I actually contacted one of the designers, and he confirmed that that paint is supposed to be like that. Now, yours may have a little bit more or a little bit less. It just varies from figure to figure. But those are actually supposed to be all scratched up, which, like I said, I think is really very, very cool. Subtle details like that. I mean, people like complaining about Hasbro and lack of paint applications and things like that. I think they've been doing an amazing job with these most recent figures, so I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now, for his articulation in beast mode, these are going to become his arms in robot mode, so the shoulders here are on ball joints, so you get a nice range of motion there. These are his elbows, so again, range of motion. The little feet down here are on ball joints, so you can kind of pivot those forward and back, and they rotate. As you can see, the mouth does articulate open. You got some nice teeth in there as well. The head can rotate, and give you kind of like, kind of look. And then it can pivot side to side a little, not really look up and down, but you do get a little bit of left and right movement. These back legs are kind of wonky, to be honest, mostly because of the transformation, but these are on ball joints as well. But in moving them around, this top section here will probably be slightly detached, so you do want to be careful. And then you got a back hinge that allows you to move it forward and back. The lower section here is actually on a bit of a ball joint, so you can rotate that around and you can actually pivot that side to side as well. And then the actual feet are on ball joints, so you can rotate that, spin that around. Lots of articulation there. The tail here, just I guess because it just pegs in, it rotates. I kind of wish that it had an actual little hinge, but it doesn't. But all in all, great detail on this figure, really very cool. And like I said, for some reason, he just is my favorite in this new wave of Titans Return Deluxe figures. I just love the way that he turned out. Now, to transform him, really very simple, but very satisfying still. First, you want to take the tail out and just kind of set that off to the side. Then take these legs, you're going to rotate these down, then just straighten all this stuff out, and then actually you want to rotate these around right here, and then you got a square whole thing. You just rotate this down, and then you got a little tab on the inside of his shin that just comes all the way down, and you just lock that into place right there. Do that on this side as well. Now I'm going to show you the official way to transform this guy, and then the way that I kind of actually like doing it. You want to take this, rotate this out. This is actually a little bit tricky to do because again, lack of fingernails. So kids, don't bite your fingernails. Public service announcement by optibotimus. So you just rotate that out, and that's the actual proper transformation for his legs, which it looks good. I don't mind at all. I actually like doing it like this though, and having that, you know, extra paint detail kind of showing. Now that's not really accurate or anything, but I like it. I think it looks cool. People will complain, you transformed him wrong. Yes, I did, but it's just a look that I like for him. So getting this around, it's your totally do what you want with them. Come down here, rotate these little forearm pieces up, then you take this, spin this around, and you tuck this just along the underside of his forearm, then rotate the little hand out from there, just like so. Bring that down, locks that into place. Do that on this side as well. Rotate that, open this. A lot of people are really excited to see the little flaps that cover up the forearms again. That is a cool piece. I do like seeing that as well. And then you take this back section, the little cockpit door, you want to open that, and then you take this entire section. This is going to slide out, and then you got two little grooves that are all the way up at the top. You also have them down here. This is where it's going to go for his robot mode. So you got two little groove slots down here, and then you got two more that are up here. You just bring this up, and then fold that up there, push that all the way back in, and then close that back down, and now you have his body properly lined up. And then you just take this head, detach this, rotate this back. I actually like how there's two little whole sections on his back that the ears fold in perfectly for. Set him there, kind of straighten him out. Take Monzo, and now obviously if you didn't already have him transformed, you just take him, fold him in half, and you transformed him. And then you just attach the head like so, and there you have Wolfwire transformed and in his robot mode. And I said it before, I'll say it again, and there's no doubt in my mind I'll probably say it again even after this. But I am really very impressed with what Hasbro has been doing recently, and this figure is no exception to that. As I said, this is probably my favorite of the second wave deluxe figures. Now, as I've been saying, you know, many times, that it feels as if Hasbro's kind of hitting their stride. I think something has to be said for the fact that they're engineering these figures with the heads coming off, and by doing that, you don't have to engineer a way to actually hide the heads. I think that actually helps out a little bit and makes things a little bit easier on the engineering process. So I do think that that kind of contributes to these figures, you know, getting a little bit more attention and a little bit more love. But whatever the case may be, I think that it really does look absolutely wonderful. Now, for the comparisons, let's get it out of the way. Here he is. Here's that G1 toy, and again, you can see very nice similarities between the different actual toys. I love how you got the white chest here in the original. They replicated that here as well. You got the yellow all over the place. You got the little missile pods up here. I mean, really very nice. The one thing that they improved upon is, oh yeah, the big giant backpack. You don't really have much of that here on the new one. And honestly, this could actually be better if, I mean, you could leave that down. If you could actually fold that down a little bit more, you could probably make that a little bit better, but you know, whatever. But again, just in terms of an update, I think they did a terrific job with it. It looks amazing. And here you have them next to the rest of the Decepticon headmasters. And these guys look terrific together. Now, it was always kind of funny that in the original G1 series, there was always more Autobots than Decepticons. And that's even true here with these guys. You have 3 Decepticons here, and there were 4 Autobots. So the Decepticons were always going up against more Autobots. So no wonder why these guys could never win. Now, for his accessories, as you can see, he is holding his sword, which does look really nice. I like that little, red bit right there. His gun, though, is kind of a weird sort of thing. As you can see, the hands are sculpted in kind of an open sort of palm, which is cool. I do like that. but there's a little groove on his gun that kind of prevents you from putting it down all the way. So it kind of stops right there. If you do push it down all the way, it ends up pushing the gun off on the side because the little groove bit that's on the handle kind of screws things up. Now, you can use the outer little pegs, but that looks even more ridiculous. I don't understand really that at all. I mean, you can kind of force that in and just force that little groove to, I mean, it's not very good, and it's not very secure in there. It's kind of floppy. So I don't really understand, like I said, the purpose in having this. As you can see, that little peg hole that's in his belly is kind of covered up here in his robot mode, so it's not like you could plug it there or anything. So this really does seem a little bit pointless. You can put it on the side. I mean, you could do that in his little beast mode as well, so you could do that, I guess. But I don't really get why the handle is done like that, and I don't know how well that's going to come across. If I zoom in here, you can actually kind of see it. Like, get that out of the way. You can kind of see what I was talking about, how you got those little bits on the side that kind of prevent his hand from actually holding it. I don't understand that really at all. Now maybe I could shave that down or something, but it doesn't hold in there very well. I mean, you can get it, and I don't know. I don't really like this gun for him. I mean, it's too big and goofy looking. I don't get it. It's just strange. For his articulation, though, obviously the head is on the little swivel ball joint sort of thing. You don't get much up and down or left and right. It's kind of limited by his actual upper body here. So, but you get it looking left and right. The shoulders here, though, on really nice ball joints. You get a very wide range of motion. You can tilt it in and out, can lift it up and down. It goes up about that far. So it is a little bit limited. Rotates 360 degrees. You do have a swivel here at the upper part of the bicep. He has a hinge here at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist or anything. That's just because of the way that it folds in. They weren't able to put in a rotation right there, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's not too bad. He does rotate at the waist, but things do get a little bit messy with all his back junk right here, but you can get it kind of pivoting side to side. And oh look, yeah, see, that's a problem. It is just on a little mushroom, but look, I'm Megatron. You want a piece? You want a piece? No, I want 2 pieces. Oh yeah, that's a bad impression. Terrible. But you can just slot that right back in there, but rotate it around, it will eventually pop out, so do be careful. You have the ball joint for the hips as well. He does rotate right above the knee on a nice little mushroom peg swivel, and then he hinges forward and back on the knee joint as well. The ankles, because of the beast mode, he gets a nice forward and back, that moves forward and back, a slide side to side, all that kind of stuff. So lots of range of motion in this guy. I just think that he really turned out wonderfully and looks absolutely terrific. Now to transform him back, again, very simple. We're just going to lift these actually tab in there very, very securely. So just lift that up, rotate the hand back and in, tab that back down. Then do that on this side as well. Lift that up. You can hear I was grinding my teeth to kind of get that opened up. Close that like so, and then rotate this around just like so, bringing that towards the front. Go ahead, take out Monzo. You don't need to leave that in there. His head really, it's, I don't know if you've seen me doing it, but it tabs in there very securely. That's kind of tough to get out and would make me concerned about putting stress on the little ball joint on there over time, but it seems okay. Rotate the little wolf head. It brings the back section with him, and you can, do yeah, I did it. Rotate these arms down just like so. Come around here to the back section. Take this entire section again like I showed before. We're going to slide this back and out and then swivel that down and then line those little tabs up with the little slots on the lower section of the torso and then slide that back in like that. Bring this section down, lock that into place. Then bring these legs, bring them forward, detach this, and then you just hinge this up towards the front, and then you just position these legs. Take the front of the foot, rotate that around, and then spin the foot around just like that. Do that on this side as well. Bring the little side piece up. Just kind of rest in there. Unfortunately, these don't lock in. They just kind of sit there. I do kind of wish that they locked into something, but they don't. Now, the problem with that is that when you're moving it around, or moving the legs around, these will, you know, sometimes get a little bit loose and floppy, so you will have to position those a little bit. So just kind of tuck them up underneath here like that, kind of rotate these little ball joint kind of around, bring that around so that you can actually get the legs on the ground like so. Position that. This is a little bit loose here, as you can see. That kind of slides a little bit easily, which kind of stinks. That's nice and tight right there. But that one, that's just a ball joint, so I could probably put some floor polish on there and tighten that up. And then just take the tail, put that right inside there, and there you have Wolfwire transformed back into his werewolf mode. But again, really, absolutely wonderful figure. The beast mode here looks terrific. I love all that tech detail that's on it. That carries over to his robot mode and just gives an amazing amount of detail to the overall look of the figure. The paint applications on these, like I've been talking about, are really very nice. The overall look of Wolfwire here, though, just something about it I really like a lot. Transformation on him is ridiculously simple, but it's actually fun to do and satisfying. I mean, it literally is just straightening out the legs and collapsing the actual torso. But that little collapsing right there is actually fairly cool. It just works, I think. And again, that robot mode looks amazing. It takes that whole G1 look and really updates it. And I know that Hasbro has said time and time again that they don't care about third parties, but this really feels like they looked at third party versions of Weirdwolf and boom, dropped the mic with this guy. He just turned out absolutely fantastic. So if you're looking for this guy, he should be hitting various retail locations fairly soon. So good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the new Transformers Titans Return figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, I'll talk to you later. You're